I'm doing a little test here with Daptex Plus multi-purpose foam sealer. I was told this is better than great stuff. I don't know if I should believe them or not, but I've been shaking it for a while. So we're going to see. It's supposed to be a minimally expanding foam. They say wear safety glasses. Got my safety glasses on. Here we go. They also say you can tool it while it's still wet, and that you shouldn't tool it after it dries. Once you get rid of the air, it looks like it tools pretty well. We'll let that set up, and then we'll come back and see what one more just to let it sit like it does. I'll just let that one alone. This test is with great stuff, and this is the gaps and cracks. They also have another one in a blue can, and that's what Vance used, was the blue can. I just wanted to see what the difference was. So we're going to put some of this on here. Maybe. That stuff does not want to be touched. I can tell you that right now. That may be exactly what we want, though. Something sticky that'll stay sort of flexible. Let's continue this effort. Alright, so we'll call that good. And we'll put a little here, just as it comes out of the can. These are sort of one-time use. They tell you that on the can, but right after I got done squirting, I took it apart, put some warm water down in there, clean all that foam out. I'm hoping that saved my can. I don't know. It's pretty hard. This one's, I'm not going to say rock hard. I can still squeeze it, but it's hard. The one that I just squirted out has a good consistency to it. So obviously this stuff is probably better if you just leave it alone and let it do its thing. It feels about the same consistency as the dash back under there. This one here is the fancy one. DAP. It sucks. I mean, it's probably good for what it does. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the product. But trying to do dash repair, this is way too soft. This is like it's like a marshmallow. And you know, when I push like this, it leaves a fingerprint. Yeah, so I had some that I just squirted out, which is right there, and then I had a couple that I did whatever. So there's the great stuff challenge. There's our little divot. Got to fill that up. We're nice and smooth. The epoxy dried. It's really, the epoxy's probably a little more brittle than I would have liked. Somebody else recommended using like a windshield. You know, the goop you put in here, the urethane windshield adhesive. And that's probably a better thing that I could have used in here, because it would have stuck everything together, but it still would have stayed flexible. So I may grind these out and redo it that way. But I'm going to fill this little chunkus up here with some great stuff, and then we'll shave it down. And we're going to make our metal piece for that guy right there. I took the dash out of the car. Before I did that, I wish I hadn't clamped it all down. I made marks on the other side, and I measured a bunch of stuff. And what it pretty much comes down to is, you know, this has all got to fit back into place. You know, it came out of the factory in one piece, so as long as this lines up, everything's good. So I got it where I wanted to, made the measurements, and clamped it into place upside down on my workbench. I cut a piece of metal. There it is. I went ahead, this is pre-primed, so I ground it down so the epoxy would stick. The epoxy might stick to that, but who knows. I went ahead and just ground it to bare metal. Cleaned these up on the sides, and I've got my epoxy there. I'm going to just slather it on here, and here. I was going to weld this on, but I have a feeling if I weld it, it'll melt the foam, and I want to do as little damage to the foam as possible. So hopefully epoxying this into place will do what I want. So I'm going to slather it with epoxy. We're going to put on a weight here and another weight here, and then I got some big old clamps back here. We're going to clamp everything down, flatten it out as best we can. We'll take a quick look at all the epoxy here. Let's push that down. This is very exacting science here. So I'm going to put a little of this over the top because I don't want my nice metal blocks to get epoxy. So we're kind of oozing out the sides there. Sort of lets me know it's working, that we got it in the right spot. Yeah, I think I need some more pressure on there, but we're looking good. I've given it just about 24 hours. Let's see what we did. Hopefully I didn't epoxy something together that I didn't want to epoxy together. Now that's hard. Looks good, it didn't spring on me. Oh yeah. I'd say that's fairly flat across there. Yeah, we're looking in this area. There we go. Yeah, pretty flat looking. I kind of surprise myself sometimes. I'm not trying to brag about it. I don't think I have it figured out, and then you do it and it's like, oh hell, that's not too bad. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I ground down all of the epoxy so that it would be just under the surface. I'm going to give this a shot, the old great stuff here. Just going to try and put a little on here and then tool it. I don't know where the hell my tool went. There it is. Tool it sort of into the joints, and I know from experience that overnight this stuff will kind of swell up. Actually, here in the next hour or so it'll swell up, so I'm just hoping I can get it far enough down in there. I mean, it grew like maybe 10 times, I don't know. So I'm hoping if I can just get it down in there, it'll kind of do its own little magic. I guess we will find out. If it doesn't work, I'll just pull it all back out. It wouldn't be the first thing I had to redo. Here we go. I foamed up all the little touchy spots, and I think you guys saw me do a little bit of that. It's been maybe 30 minutes and this stuff's just kind of bubbling up a little bit here and there. We filled in the oh shit handle, as some guys like to call it, and got this end up going. You know, there's a bunch of foam missing here. I don't know how much, so I just put extra on there. There we go. So looked like I might have come up a little bit short right in here. Should have put a little more on there. Maybe I can still do that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for right now. Don't let your meat load.